Welcome to Keep What You Earn, your judgment and jargon free zone for entrepreneurs of all levels. Get ready to learn how to scale your business, save money in taxes, and create a business that grows your wealth. If it feels like the financial side of business is like eating your vegetables, well, then think of this podcast as the ranch dressing to make the process a little more enjoyable. My name is Shannon Weinstein. I'm a CPA and business owner on a mission to simplify money and empower others through knowledge. I hope this episode inspires you to take action, but remember that the information we share is for educational purposes only and is not individual tax advice. Now that we got that out of the way, let's start the show. The back half of 2024 for me was definitely a season of growth. And not just in the form of acquiring new clients and new team members, that was a big part of it. But I think I really had this kind of expansion of my mindset of what my potential was and what this business could become in the future. And I think the catalyst to all of that was what I mentioned, right? A bigger team, more clients, like it was becoming more real. But I realized something as we're heading into the end of 2024, I'm coming to this realization that I was in kind of this slump over the course of the early fall, summertime when I was kind of in a what I call like a content drought. I was not listening to podcasts. I was not reading books. I was not really hungry for that because I couldn't, as I was scrolling through my apps, I was scrolling through all my podcasts and I was like, I'm just not like dying to listen to any of these. Like, I just didn't feel that excitement. I was also, by the way, we adopted a puppy in August, which is also part of this because Lord knows I had no time to be listening to this stuff. Now I can walk her while listening to this, but while we were training, forget it. I couldn't listen to anything else while I was working with her. So, aside from life getting in the way, I realized that I wasn't exactly hungry anymore for these different podcasts, these books, right? This content on YouTube, and I just wasn't excited to plug in and watch these. I used to sit and watch YouTube videos, in my office. I have a TV in here, and I would put on YouTube videos, while I was doing deep work, or I would just sit on the couch and watch them, and it would help really get the ideas flowing for content like this or content that I'm going to be posting on social media or just in general, like stuff I would do for my team. I can't tell you, my team knows this. You guys are laughing right now editing this, knowing full well that Shannon's reading a book and Shannon's listening to a lot of podcasts when she goes Asana freaking crazy on a random Saturday. Like, oh, Shannon's gone for a walk. We just got like a bunch of idea drops in Asana. Now, we have an amazing way of capturing all these great things, but whenever I'm consuming a lot, I tend to take action very quickly. I tend to go implement. And I dump these ideas right on our Asana board immediately because there's a place to do that. And I'm so grateful there is. But what I noticed lately was I was just really not that interested. I was not consuming as much as I usually do. And while that might sound good, it's also a little bit like a writer's block. So when it came to thinking about things to share with my clients or with you, I was kind of running out of ideas and going, God, I'm just like, I feel like I've said everything. I feel like I've shared so much that I can't think of more things. Like, what else can I share with everybody? And of course, I know that there are plenty of ideas out there. Of course, I know that there's a lot we can do. But I was having this really bad block. And what I realized in retrospect was I was going through a season of immense growth and a couple of things were happening. I was distracted by higher priority things, high impact things, and I wasn't freeing up the space in my mind to welcome in new ideas. I was so tactical and so ready to put a fire out at any moment's notice that I wasn't like sitting back and just letting myself consume. And that's one part of it. Hey, real quick, are you learning anything in this episode that you think is share worthy? Well, if you could take a quick screenshot and share any of your biggest takeaways or quotes from this episode, post it to Instagram and make sure to tag me at Shannon K. Weinstein and at Keep What You Earn. Thank you so much for listening to the show. Let's dive back in. The other part was in that season of growth, I realized that a lot of the things I was listening to were no longer serving me. I was realizing that a lot of voices that are in my ear are voices I was listening to 2 or 3 years ago, and now I just really need a shift. They always say that, the team that gets you to where you are is not necessarily the team that will get you to the next level. I think that also goes for your mentors, the influences in your life. That also goes for, the people you surround yourself with. And by all means, don't just like, you know, divorce, breakup, whatever, every so often. But what I'm saying is that you can grow out of the function of that person in a season. So if you have a particular mentor, let's just say you bring on a mentor who's helping you with your sales. Once you get to your sales to a certain place, the marginal impact that person is making hopefully remains strong. But if you are noticing a decline in the marginal impact of this person, then maybe you need somebody else who's going to challenge you in a different way. Maybe you need a mindset person or you need somebody with a different focus area that complements a weakness of yours. So I think that much like when you're exercising or you want to build muscle, if you do if you wanna build your arms up and you're doing bicep curls, you're doing tricep extensions, you're doing, like, shoulder work and all these things, eventually, if you ignore your legs and you just do that, yes, you will have, more toned arms or whatever. But if you only do that, then that's all you're doing. You're not really, like, developing these other areas too. You're just letting the same things happen over and over again, and you'll get better at those things, but what opportunity are you missing out on to get better at other things too, and to supplement, and just to have a little bit of other things that will challenge you? Personally, I can't stand leg exercises. I know I need them. So this is actually a very literal example for me is I would skip leg day every single week if I could, but I know I can't because I know nothing matters if you're not training the whole body. Nothing matters if you're not doing something that will challenge you and make you a little uncomfortable. So in relation to business, what I'm saying is you have to be open to bringing in new mentors, new influences, new voices in your life who are going to challenge you in different ways. And specifically, you want that person who's going to multiply your dreams, who's going to add a zero to anything you ever say, who's going to just, have you reach further than you ever thought possible. Sometimes you need those people in your corner, and they may seem like they're cheerleaders who are hyping you up. And it's like, yeah, but you need to have somebody who's believes in you so freaking hard more than what you think is possible that you start striving for more. And I've just realized that I need those voices. I'm getting a lot of those voices that brought me to where I am. So the people who were taking me from 100,000 to multiple 100,000 to a million, like in revenue, I'm going, okay, the person who brought me to 100,000 is not the person who's going to bring me to a million. And the person who brings me to a million isn't going to bring me to 5 million. And that is okay. That is okay. So when I think about the content I'm consuming, and I would encourage you to do this as well, sometimes we get on autopilot and we become fans of sort of the old songs, because we know the lyrics and we are familiar with it. But if the content you're consuming is not challenging you in some way and making you react or making you learn something new, if you're not running to write down something you're hearing, I want you to really think about switching the channel into something that's really going to push you. And hopefully that doesn't mean you're turning away from this podcast, but hopefully, we'll be able to deliver that for you in the coming year, especially. But I just want you to be mindful of who you're letting into influence you. And if you're really kind of swinging a little bit easy, you're on easy mode right now. You're listening to stuff you already know, making yourself feel better. You're kind of validating that, yes, I know all these things. I've listened to this business strategy podcast a bajillion times and I know what this person's going to say. And I know I'm doing everything they're saying. Yay, yay, rah, rah, go me. Like that can serve its purpose. But at a certain point, what is it doing to serve you? What is it doing to serve you? So I would challenge you go out, become familiar with, go listen to something brand spanking new. Go learn something brand new about your business, about your industry. Listen to other peers in your industry. Find out what shows they're on. Find out what shows are happening. Learn from other industry experts. Find out from them what's kind of going on. You'll hear me listen to more CFO podcasts this year as opposed to general business. I really want to know the meat, the nitty gritty of what's working for people and how they're growing $1 million companies, multi-million-dollar companies, and I'm here for it. So I hope you are able to do the same and really expand your horizons in this coming year with what content you're consuming. Hey, small business owners, are you tired of juggling payroll, benefits, and HR tasks? If so, I want to introduce you to our payroll provider of choice, Gusto, the #1 rated HR and payroll platform trusted by thousands of businesses just like yours. With Gusto, you can streamline payroll, manage benefits, and more, all in one easy-to-use platform. But here's the kicker. When you sign up and run your first payroll through our special link below in the show notes, you'll score a sweet deal, a $100 Visa gift card. That's right. Just $100 for clicking the link below and get started to claim your reward. Don't let payroll headaches hold you back from building your team and growing your business. Join the Gusto family today and take the first step towards simplifying your HR processes while snagging a bonus along the way. Click the link in the show notes now to learn more and set up your payroll. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a rating and review on your podcast platform. This small action goes a long way for podcasters to get our message heard by more business owners just like you. Be sure to check out the show notes for links to information about our guests and ways to get in touch with me. We'll see you on the next episode.